The Heart of Deimos update brought a lot of new things in the game. The infested got their deserved spotlight, new laws, new weapons, and some other stuff that will make you jump back to playing Warframe, but the eye candy of this update is the new HELLminth system, a feature that will let you infuse one Warframe ability to another frame. Honestly, I'm one of those people who love the new system, and as you all know, I've covered mostly HELLminth builds in my channel for the past few weeks. While I admittedly enjoying the experiments I'm doing with the new HELLminth system, I've seen a couple of people in the community disliking the new feature. While I don't understand some of the unnecessary cursing, I do understand why they don't like the new HELLminth system. So, give me a couple of minutes to explain what are the good and bad sides of this new system, to help you fully understand, and somehow decide if you want to invest in it if you haven't so. So basically, the main goal of the HELLminth system is build diversity. Aside from fun combos and all sorts of stuff you can experiment with this new system, you will most likely create new builds which will make a specific Warframe more desirable to play, and fusing one ability to another Warframe will create a whole new build variation for the frame, which then leads to a new play style. It also makes trash abilities exceptional when used to another frame. For example, Mag's pull may not be of great help for her, but when you put it into another frame, say, someone like Limbo, then it creates a whole new level of experience, making JoJo frame complete since he can able to pull enemies to his rift with Mag's ability. There's also the case the as strong frame will become stronger with other Warframe abilities. A good example of this is HELLminth. Put elemental ward on this frame, and she becomes even powerful, that she can kill enemies without even touching them with your weapons. Or, you can put thermal sunder for a semi-nuking, and superior crowd control play style. In paper, what they are telling us is very pleasing, since infusing an ability to a frame that you don't commonly use could turn out fun and you might want to play the frame for a while. However, in reality, this doesn't just create build diversity, or make low-tier frames fun to play, but this system will also make those juggernaut frames even more powerful. It's like turning those meta frames into monsters, and you will tend to forget those who you considered as mastery fodder frames. The concept may have good intentions, but the reality is, giving such power would end up making an already overpowered frame godlike. On the other hand, some players were triggered by the fact that their favorite frame will give away one of their powers. Admit it or not, some of you like to main a specific frame in the game, and some people don't like the idea of giving their powers to others. It's like the developer is taking away the uniqueness of a frame, and making the HELLminth system as an excuse because they have no time to scan each frames, listen to the community, and make the right rework to make all of the mastery rank fodder frames compete with the meta frames in the game. This is one of the main reasons why some players hated the HELLminth system. They feel that it's a lazy move to rework frames, instead of giving an actual good rework to each frame. Although the most interesting subsumed abilities were altered, and given lower effectiveness, still, these abilities when infused to specific meta frames will work wonders. You might say that the subsumed raw abilities are not Rhino's raw, as it got lower weapon damage bonus, but still, Mesa can use it, and her pistols become absolute bonkers with it. The problem gets worse because some in the community have asked for decent reworks on some frames, but the developer hasn't done anything, and instead, they released the HELLminth system. This is like slapping their community and saying you do the rework. But wait, this doesn't end here. Although I love experimenting with new builds on the HELLminth system right now, I can't deny the fact that I'm one of those who got pissed when they decided to nerf abilities before even releasing the HELLminth system. It's like they were very scared that the system would break the game. With the number of crazy ideas that the community is sharing on the internet, the community was all aboard the hype train, only to get derailed by the developer within a few days after announcing the official lists of abilities available on the HELLminth system. It was a shocking move by the developer, that you will question yourself of why did they even bother to release this system, or why are they scared of breaking the game with this new system, when they already did, when they decided to create frames which have infinite damage scaling. I fully understand the frustration of the community regarding the nerf before release, but I also understand the developer for doing this. They don't want all frames to become a Rhino main, nor a Valkyrie main. Somehow, I think they did this so that frames with altered subsumed abilities will not lose their identity, by giving away the same copy of their abilities. Other than that, we can't also deny the fact that if the developer has given us the full power of each subsumed abilities, then it would only end up being nerfed because it will definitely be used on meta frames and make them beyond overpowered. The idea was to stop the bleeding before it gets worst. but it turns out to have both good and bad side effects on the new HELLminth system. The hype was drained, but the developer managed to balance the system before it gets exploited, or is it? The truth is, the HELLminth system is a balancing hell for developers, and I commend them for doing a good job for now, making sure that each subsumed abilities of the right balance stats and effectiveness at first is one thing, but ensuring that it will not break the game once infused on other warframes is another thing, and this is where hell breaks loose. You see, sometimes, there are subsumed abilities that when infused to another frame, creates a very strong enemy that can obliterate the game's hardest content easily, and sometimes, these combos are not intended, leading to nerfs or what they call as balancing. Every time this happens, the player base interest on the HELLminth system shrinks. Each nerfs that digital extremes apply to the HELLminth system, the player's interest lowers, and they go to the extreme of thinking that the developer hates fun stuff in the game. I sometimes hear the quotes, "Fun is equals nerf in Warframe, so don't share anything fun and keep it to yourself," which is kind of bothering. This doesn't just apply to the HELLminth system, but to the whole game in general. The new system just exposed this past issue that the community thinks is one of the main reasons why players are leaving the game. Another thing that the developer did, which impacts the HELLminth system in both good and bad way, is lowering the mastery rank requirements. From 15, you will only need to be at least mastery rank 8 to try the HELLminth system. The intention is good, since it allows almost all players to try the new system early. However, don't ever think that this is good for the new players. The idea of infusing the ability of a frame to another seems tempting, and would be marketable to new players, but do remember that we are talking about mastery rank 8 here. Most players within this mastery rank don't have all nodes unlocked, nor have they farmed tons of needed resources for the HELLminth system, nor have all warframes in the game to be subsumed. They can take a look at the HELLminth system, but that's it. If they do focus on this new system, then believe me, within a week or even days, they will eventually burn out themselves and regret even touching this new system. This is also a big slap on the face to those players who already invested their time in the game, especially to those veteran players. This type of system should be accessible only to those players who have spent enough time in the game to gather the required stuff to feed your HELLminth. I do understand the developer on making all content accessible for all players, but they must also understand that this won't work all the time. You may attract newer players to try the game, but you will make those veteran leave. In the end, you'll waste all those efforts investing in attracting newer players, since nobody wants to stay and play the game. You know, it's kind of funny also that some of the comments I'm receiving on my HELLminth videos are suggesting that players haven't got a clue what is happening. Some people asking why did Mesa have this ability, or how the hell did Necros get his hands on Octavia's mallet. Some new players are lost with this new system, and this is just a testament that HELLminth isn't fitted for the new player base. Honestly, the HELLminth system has so much potential in this power fantasy game. It gets ruined because of nerfs, bugs, and other issues that make players step away from this new system. It's kind of sad that you can't show everything in a power fantasy game, since we are so afraid of the nerf bat being taken out, and it's kind of ironic giving such powers just be taken away in a couple of days. So this is my review on the HELLminth system. I'm hoping to see a better future for this new system, and I'm wishing Digital Extremes the best in terms of balancing such a hellish feature. Let me know in the comment box below about your opinions about the HELLminth system. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.